Smog is a political problem. If the politicians wanted to, they could reduce coal consumption, regulate cars and trucks more tightly, and invest in alternative energy. And since smog is a political problem, it needs a political solution. StopSmog.info is a database of organizations and individuals fighting smog and change. It's like meetup.com for smog activists. The goal is to support anti-smog politicians. We have to realize that there are two sides here. On the one hand, we have the small Polski alarm smogowy, who's trying to fight smog. And on the other hand, we have the carbon lobby that pays huge amounts of money to the internet giants to promote energy consumption. Very tough to win the battle when the other guys have more money. So, StopSmog.info is a map of organizations fighting climate change. Here you can see the map of organizations in Poland fighting smog. Here you can see the map of organizations in Poland. The red dots are the ones that have future events. You can click into Warsaw. You can see the local events. You can see Warsaw organizations fighting smog. Here's one important organization, Polski Alarm Smogowy, not in Warsaw. Here's an event. You can either join an organization or you can go to an event. You can add an organization. Here are the best videos in Polish about smog. You can chat about smog. What's the business plan? Well, initially, venture philanthropy is needed. People really want to fight smog, and so there's a great outpouring of goodwill. I'd like to tap into that. But really, I want to prove the software in the Polish market, get face-to-face feedback locally, scale the related software site for men's groups, scale that there in the 250,000 members in the partner Reddit group. And of course, half the world's population is men, so there's a huge scalability test there. And then return to the US. Washington, D.C. is where the money is. In just this year, in 2020, $6 billion is being spent in annual political advertising. What's the team? I really prefer to list the second person first. He's a product manager. He tells me what to do next. He's also a great tester. It's really good insight. And then I do the software development. I'm doing this presentation. Users are needed, so please visit StopSmog.info. Chat, you can do so during this presentation. Sign up, add your favorite anti-smog group, join the right group for you, share StopSmog.info, volunteer to help, to curate the videos in particular. What's the environmental impact? It's 2.66 watts, it's a tiny VPS, no huge server farm, no machine learning. That's just a tiny fraction of a 300 watt solar panel. Two panes. Entrepreneurial risk analysis. Well, I've experienced entrepreneurial multiple successes, probably more failures. Low development costs here in Poland, Czynsz, Zeus, food, electricity. It doesn't cost much to develop software. Low software risk. I always get the software to work. Huge developer productivity. I've released 10 products or services in the last 2 years. No financial risk, currently saving money. Committed team. I've been working on the software platform for 6 years. My colleague has been a political activist for 15 years. And of course, the big news is that Jeff Bezos is committing $10 billion to fight climate change. And Greta Thunberg, lots of people want to fight for these good issues and then spend money on it. What's the political and smog impact? I don't know, but I know that something has to change. We need to get a platform that supports political activists. So even if the existing software isn't quite right, something close to it will be needed. Return on investment? Well, if you look at just the U.S. political market, $6 billion a year in 2020 spending. Cost to live here, Poland, maybe I spend $6,000 a year. If I move to Washington, D.C., I'll be lucky if I can live for $60K a year. And once you crank up marketing, that's $600K per year. Even if that gets 1% market share of the political advertising market in the U.S., you do the math. The returns on investment are huge. And of course, reducing smog, well, that's priceless. What are the investment opportunities? Well, maybe the biggest group is the men's group right now, but the LGBT group needs it, family values, pro-choice, pro-life, pro-gun, gun control. On every issue, there are two sides, and both of those groups need something like this to organize. Of course, on climate change, there's only one reasonable position to take. Questions?